Next one is registering the plugin. So registering a plugin means nothing but integrating whatever DLL that you have developed in your Visual Studio with your CRM system, so that you can register that plugin code with a CRM event. So whenever the next time the event happens, the plugin code will trigger. So we have a tool known as plugin registration tool, which is a GUI tool which provides the interface for plugin registration. So this is developed by the Dynamics CRM community. This is a free tool. Before we are going to register, the first step is we need to double click and open the application. Then we need to link it with your CRM system. You need to give the credentials, link it to your CRM application, so that it will show you the organization. Once it is connected, it will show you what all the organizations. So here I will have only one organization, Adventure Works and Microsoft. These are the two organizations, and in each organization you will see the list of plugins. These are nothing but the system plugins. In addition to, you can also add your plugin. So each of these are one project or a solution I can call. Within this project, that is activity feeds.plugin, I will have multiple assemblies. Okay? There are two more system solutions, plugin solutions are there. So I can, by clicking on here, I can register my plugin. So I link it. So next step is registering the new assembly. We'll select the assembly DLL from the system location. So one solution, plugin solution may contain multiple classes. So each class, once compiled, will become one DLL. So this project, that is a sample plugin project, contains 5 or 6 classes, that is 5 or 6 DLLs. So I can select any of them or all of them, and I can register it. So here you will mention the isolation modes. So when you register plugins and custom workflow activities with CRM Online, it will be deployed in the sandbox mode. Right? Sandbox mode work in on-premise also. On-premise it can be none or on sandbox, but online it will be only in the sandbox mode, CRM Online. Then we need to specify the location where the assembly should be stored. In 3 locations we can register it: the database, and a disk, and GAC. What is database? Is in the CRM database the plugin code will be registered, assembly will be registered. Disk mean it will be registered in your local machine or in the server. You should select this mode, disk option. Then only you can debug it. Once you debug it, you can make it database. That is, the final plugin DLL will be saved in the database. And GAC means global access cache. That means in the CRM in system 32 we have one folder known as GAC where you can save that as well. Then once the plugin is registered, the DLL is integrated with the CRM, you need to make an event handler. Right, for which event? So here I am going to select the message, that is create event. For the primary entity, that is account, I can select a secondary account also, such as for events like assign, we are assigning one record to one record on one user to another, so it needs a secondary entity as well. Then we are doing filtering attribute. This is basically used for update operation. Then this is the name of the plugin, microsoft.crm.sdk.sample. This is nothing but the name of the class. This is the namespace, and this is the solution name or the project name. Then this is the name of the step. This is the project name or DLL name, and this is the name of the event, creative account. Then run in users context. So we will see that on which users context the plugin need to be triggered, on the calling user or on the system users or system admins context, or in some other users context. Then there is execution context. Execution order. What is execution order is, on creative account you can register multiple plugins. So which plugin should trigger first? That order you can mention here. So if I got 5 plugins, I need to mention which plugin should be first, second, third, up to 5. I need to mention that. Then here we need to mention 3 other options. Event pipeline stage of execution. What this means is, we talk about event execution pipeline, right? On which stage? This is the pre-validation, pre-operation, and post-operation. In our example, it will be post-operation. After the creation of account, we need to register the plugin. Yep. Then we need to mention the execution order. It should be, the plugin should be asynchronous or synchronous. It should trigger just after the creative account has been completed, or it should wait till the resources are available and execute later. That we need to mention. Then we need to mention the deployment type, whether this plugin should deploy on the server or offline. So when you are using Outlook with Dynamics CRM, right, the plugin need to be triggered. So you can check either of the one or both. I mean, server need to be always there, but you can choose offline as well. So these are the options. So this is very important, registering the plugin step. You need to understand this clearly. Then we have two other fields, which is known as unsecure and secure configuration. So in some situation, what will happen is we may need to send some values to CRM, right? Just like when you are calling a JavaScript function, you can pass some parameters. So in order to pass parameters plugin, this is the only way, unsecure and secure. So as the name indicate, we want to send the information a secured way, we will use the secured configuration. Unsecured means it will be visible to everyone. Yeah. So we will see that. After that, I'll click register new step. That is, plugin is registered, one step will also be created. So we will see how we can do it. Now we have the DLL created. So now my next step is open up the plugin registration tool. So I'll go to SDK tools folder, where I'll open up plugin registration tool. I think it is here is the one. I think this is already opened. Yeah. So I will show you how we can connect it again. Double click on it. I need to click on create new connection. Right. So here I need to select the deployment type, on-premise or Office 365. If it is on-premise, I need to mention the server name, the port number, the Active Directory, or what I mean is authentication source. This is Active Directory, internet facing, or auth, which is the type I need to select. Normally it will be Active Directory. Then I need to mention the username, password, and domain. So in our case, we are going to connect with your CRM online version. So I need to select the second option, Office 365. I need to mention the online region. That means which region this online CRM server is located. So if you don't know which location is from, you can give an don't know. Otherwise, if you know it, you can mention this particular location. Yeah. Mention the CRM online user ID and password and click on login. So it will retrieve the organization details. If there are multiple organizations, it will display all that. In our case, we have only one, that is known as Xfactor 161. Now it is showing all the plugins which is already been registered with our CRM organization. So basically we have 3 plugin assemblies. Here you can see multiple plugins are there. So these are nothing but the plugins, DLLs, and wherever we can see one node. Once you expand it, you can see the steps. So that plugin DLL, once you register with CRM system, is not one work alone. That plugin need to link with your CRM event in order to trigger it. So for this plugin, for example, activity fields.plugin.case create, we got 5 steps. So once I select this one, it will give you the information about plugin. Once I click on the step, it will open up the step. I can update it. It is working on create of incident, that is case. Then we have it should trigger on the post operation, that is after the create of the incident, synchronous and server, that we have mentioned. So this is how you will pass the parameter. Here we are giving some unsecure configuration. This is nothing but an XML file. So this XML file contains some information. So each of these are parameters. Location, web resource name, that is one parameter. And here we have a post template ID, post entity. So these are nothing but each of these tags in the XML file. This is not in the proper format, so you wouldn't be able to understand it. It will becomes like this. So you'll get an idea. Yeah. So we got multiple options: register new assembly, register new step, register new image, that is pre-entity post entity images, register a service endpoints. That means if you are creating a plugin which need to link with other applications such as SharePoint or Azure, if you want to link your plugin CRM application through a plugin with this application, you need to create a service endpoint. So here I am going to create a new assembly. For plugin and workflow activity, we'll be creating a new assembly. So I am going to select my plugin DLL. I need to go back to my application, get the folder location of my DLL, I'm going to select the bin release. Okay, let me go to the debug one, that may be helpful. I go to folder location, I will select that location over here. I'll get this DLL, just select the DLL. So here we have only one class, only one DLL this, right? If I have created multiple classes, all will be applicable here. I will mention the isolation mode as sandbox. Location, the assembly should be stored as database. Okay, so now we will have a register assembly button will be here. Because of some display problem, I cannot see it. So what I can do is I can do some trick. I will just click tab, yeah, there is one small thing we're supposed to do that we missed out. That is, before we are compiling the DLL, we need to sign it for protection. So I need to go to the properties of our project. We have an option called signing. Yeah, so we need to select this option, sign in the assembly, where you can mention new, or you select an existing one. We give a name as key, then you can mention some password. So this is a mandatory field, otherwise we cannot register it. You signed it, then you rebuild the solution again, make it debug. I rebuild it again, yeah, successful. Then I need to register it again. I need to select that DLL, yeah, 6 o'clock, updated one, and I need to, yeah, registered. So the selected plugin has been registered, only one assembly done. So now we can see that plugin registered over here. Here we go, sample plugin attempt. So this is the DLL created. Yeah, now what I need to do is, the next step is I need to create a step, register a new step. So this plugin should trigger on create of our account, right? So message as create, primary entity as account, secondary entity is none. There is no filtering attribute for here. Event handler is nothing but our solution name. This is step name, that is create of account, run in the context of calling user, or any of the user IDs I can give. Calling user means the user who create the account. That point in time, that will trigger the plugin. Yeah. Then execution order, the description. I will run this plugin the post operation, that is after the creation of the account. Synchronous server as the deployment mode. I click the create new step. So step has been created. Cool. So now the plugin is, and the plugin step has been created. Now let's test the logic. So let's go to our accounts and try creating a new account. So now we have a plugin is registered on create of the account. So it should trigger and it should create a follow-up activity with the details. So sample plugin for testing plugin, sample account 1. I'm giving the name. I need to mention the phone number. I save it. So the account has been created. So now if you go to activities, you will see one item created. This is the plugin has just created it. If I am going to go to here also, you can see, yeah, an activity has been created. Send email to the new customer, that is the subject line. Description, this is the one regarding the sample account 1. Then due date we have set 7 days from today's, yeah, today's date plus 7 days, rest of the information. That's how. So basically when an account is created, a task has been created. That is the logic we implemented. So the plugin works fine. So in case if I want to make any changes to the plugin, what I need to do is I need to come to the logic again, right? Make the changes, rebuild it again, take the DLL from the folder, the updated one from the build folder, and then I use the plugin registration to register it again. So normally plugin won't need to update all the time. What you need to do, you need to come to the step, click update. Yeah, you need to update the step. So if you want to make any changes to the plugin, what you need to do, you need to unregister this plugin. That will remove the DLL from the system. Then you come here and register again. Yeah, that's it. So the steps you can update anytime. If I want to make it into update of account, I can. Sorry. Each step is for one operation. So if I want to execute the same logic on update also, what I can do is update, create new step, update account, same DLL will work, same DLL will work, okay, and filtering attributes I can give as all attributes. All attributes I can mention, or I can select some of them. Yeah. Yeah, this will get some performance issues. I am selecting all the attributes. So whenever you're creating for the real time, you need to make it as less number of fields. Otherwise, system will check for everything and it will trigger the plugin each time any values change. So I have two steps now. So now if I am going to the account, this particular account, or any account for that matter, this is the one. And if I make changes to any value, for example, email I mentioned abc@abc.com. The plugin will trigger. It would have created one more activity. It is triggered properly. It triggered only once. Second time it didn't trigger. There may be some logic that we need to implement when we need to check that one whenever it is update. Yeah. So maybe the target won't be containing the value. You need to check that one properly. Okay. So there may be some changes needed in the logic. If it is properly work, then what will happen is it will create one more record on update of the. So that's how you can add steps. So like this I can add any number of steps. If I want to add steps for assign or delete or anything. So even we have seen actions, right? So we have created an action on as Magnifez approve. On that one also we can register a plugin. I will see later on. Right. So now what will happen is if I have added this some action over here, the account I can add one action, one button over here. Once I click on that button, the action Magnifez_submit will work. It will trigger. Once that event trigger, just like new create of account is triggered, the Magnifez_submit will trigger, and if I register a plugin on that event, that plugin will trigger. So that's how we can create custom event, and then you can register plugin on it. Yeah. Rest of the steps are pretty equal. Yeah, that's how you can create a custom event. So that's how you create plugins, compile it, and that's how you register with the CRM system.